Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia. We're watching fun and activities at a SeaWorld-type water park with orcas, dolphins, manatees. I think I even saw a small beluga whale in one of the clips. I know, these places are evil now. In the 60s and 70s, they were really popular, and as far as we knew, the animals were either raised in captivity or they were rescues. However they got there, from what we could see, they lived the pampered life of Riley in exchange for learning a few tricks. It's only been in the last 10 to 15 years that some abuses have come to light. As usual, Americans overreact and want to ban all such activities. But when we took my daughter to the Dolphin show at the Baltimore Aquarium for her 19th birthday, we learned what real conservation looks like. Those animals really are either born in captivity or they've been rescued and were injured or something. They genuinely are pampered beyond belief. My daughter got to play with a couple of them, got to touch them, and spent a good hour interacting with one of the trainers, learning how they care for the animals, why they care for the animals, and lots more. When possible, dolphins get released back into the wild. Those raised in captivity wouldn't have any idea how to survive in the wild, so they stay. Sometimes they transfer animals between different zoos depending on need, habitat, and a host of other factors. My point is, hashtag not all water parks.
Oh, what's the matter, Gladys? Hey, Doc, I think she's crying.
It's all right, Gladys. We'll find you another friend someday soon.
A dolphin named Bluebeard is in that truck, sedated. He's being moved to a different facility, and Gladys is having trouble handling it. I'm sure those reassuring words are helpful, considering dolphins don't have ears anyway. They have sound-sensing spots on their heads, but those really only work well underwater. That's why dolphin trainers use visual signals. Do these guys not know that? They also don't seem to know anything about how animals get attached to each other because they're getting annoyed at Gladys. I'm starting to think they're the reason places like this are getting shut down. Meanwhile, a couple of cops have pulled up to the place and run inside, apparently on an urgent mission.
What's going on, kid?
Oh, they're shipping Bluebeard over there down in San Diego.
Bluebeard, eh? Well, maybe you better do what the lady says and go get some fish.
Sure.
I guess the urgency is over, now he's just hanging out. Then suddenly he starts telling the security guards in the truck to go where an armored car is picking up the day's receipts. He got a tip that there's going to be a robbery there.
Look, sister, all I want is the women and children out of this whole front area.
There's your clue that he's not a real cop. No trained officer would call her sister. It's something respectful like ma'am, or he's in big trouble with his bosses.
I am Dr. Stubbs, curator of marine mammals, and I give the orders around here. You two get
Look, if you're so sure that this animal, Bluebeard, needs company, then maybe you better go along with us.
What?
He and his partner are kidnapping the dolphin and the doctor. What do they want with a trained dolphin? Are they planning to rob an underwater sandbank? Diana has arrived at a naval base and is having some trouble getting in the gate. The base is where the doctor was supposed to be taking the dolphin. Diana is supposed to be going to look at Bluebeard for reasons we don't know yet.
We just got word. That dolphin that was supposed to be shipped down here today,
Yeah?
it's been stolen.
Stolen? A dolphin?
He's a bottlenose dolphin, and his name is Bluebeard. He was captured 2 days ago by Marine Park in Los Angeles. They spotted him following one of their boats. And just this morning, they noticed the Navy tattoo mark and reported it to Washington.
Hold on. They've only had him for 2 days. They picked him up really for no good reason except he was there. They put him in with Gladys, and she's throwing that big a fit after what amounts to 1 day. Did anybody do any research at all for this, or did they just watch Day of the Dolphin and a few reruns of Flipper? Diana calls Steve, and he's filling her in on Bluebeard's background. Except the Navy can't tell him much because Bluebeard's service record is missing. And yes, dolphins do have service records. At least the ones with Navy tattoos do.
Now, all they know is that he served 4 years in research for Navy Sea Lab in Florida.
But in what capacity, we don't know because somebody filched his records.
Now, apparently 2 weeks ago, he went AWOL from the Caribbean. Since then, he's been listed as missing or dead until, of course, he showed up here in Los Angeles.
There's an obvious gap in this story.
It's not possible to swim from the Caribbean to LA in 2 weeks, even if you're a dolphin.
And even if you took a shortcut through the Panama Canal. Right, that's exactly why Washington brought this case to our attention.
So Bluebeard must have been stolen from the Caribbean and then transported by air or land to L.A.
And then somehow escaped into the Pacific.
Then these water park people captured him because he was a dolphin and he was within reach, and the rest we know.
Well, Bluebeard is obviously pretty good at something special.
So far, he appears to be an accomplished escape artist.
But who would want a dolphin badly enough to steal him twice?
And why?
I have a feeling we're going to find out soon. We're on a private jet with a Mr. Lockhart. He has his eye on something.
20 miles of coastline. The most expensive real estate development in America.
Let me guess, he wants it, and a dolphin is going to help him get it. How, I hear you ask? You don't really think they're going to tell us this early, do you? Diana has been talking to the sheriff, the real one this time, and Darrell, the attendant who went to get more fish. He says they took off before Dr. Stubbs could load the food for Bluebeard onto the truck, so he must really be hungry. The sheriff says someone spotted the truck in a little inland town, and there can't be too many places there that sell fresh fish by the truckload, so Diana is off to check it out.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Here, let me help you. Boy, I guess you like fish.
I got a lot of cats, lady.
Actually, one big cat with flippers and a blowhole.
I hope nobody else around here does. Looks like you bought the whole store out.
It's a good thing he's not being obvious about it. Somebody might get suspicious. He takes off in his nice generic squad car, so it'll be easy to get lost in traffic and nobody can follow him. With one possible exception. Diana Prince, secret agent. Oh, and Wonder Woman. Can't forget her.
I got the fish, but I think I better deliver them somewhere else. I think I got a problem here.
Your problems are just starting, dude.
Okay, you. Out of my way. I'm warning you.
Now, tell me, where is the dolphin?
This concludes today's lesson on why you should cooperate with Wonder Woman. And quickly. Diana locates the truck and Dr. Stubbs.
I'll kill him. That man will kill him.
You're talking about Gaffer.
That idiot just dumped Bluebeard into the surf.
What? You mean he went to all the trouble of stealing the dolphin just to turn him loose?
And then he ran down the beach laughing at me. Oh, now we'll never get Bluebeard back.
This is making less and less sense. Maybe they dumped him into the surf because the fish never arrived and that killed their plan. No, Gaffer is still running down the beach and laughing. He's laughing because Bluebeard is following him. Why is Bluebeard following him? Diana heads back to Dr. Stubbs.
Here you are. Gladys has worn a harness before, hasn't she?
Oh, yes, but now she has a receiver implant. I've trained her to come in when it bleeps. We have a code.
Well, so long as it'll transmit as well as receive.
Looks like they're going to use Gladys to try and lure Bluebeard back. I mean, they knew each other for a whole day. They're practically engaged. That's how it works with dolphins. Right?
Well, that's how we accidentally caught him in the first place, Darrell. He followed Gladys here back to one of our boats.
Accidentally caught him, and you couldn't accidentally put him back? Of course not. Gladys has the hots for him, and if they had put him back, she would have flapped them all unconscious.
Well, why do you want to do a thing like that?
Darrell. Darrell, when you applied for this summer job, how old did you say you were?
Oh.
Now that Darrell has thoroughly embarrassed himself in front of a couple of extremely attractive women, let's see what Lockhart is up to.
All right, Mr. Goodspeed. I'll take that one and that one, and we'll throw in the 500 condominiums under construction just for good measure.
That's not Gilderoy Lockhart. Must be his brother. They have the same ego.
No sale.
With all those bank loans coming due next week, be reasonable. For just a small share in your project, I'm offering you $200 million.
Goodspeed has a major building project going on this most expensive piece of real estate in the country, and Lockhart wants to buy him out.
Mr. Lockhart, I know how you almost bought control of Palm Beach last year. I know how you plan to monopolize every worthwhile piece of coastal property north of Mexico. Well, it's not going to happen.
Lockhart takes his leave and says, I have to go fishing. Out on shore, Gladys is searching for Bluebeard when she starts acting strangely.
Hey, look at all the birds over there.
Something's scaring the fish. Shark?
There's one over there. Look, see it?
Gladys, come in.
It isn't necessary to bring her in. Sharks are afraid of dolphins. It's been observed and proven. But nobody researched that either. Diana sends the others to get the boat and try to scare the shark away, then transforms into her wetsuit and swim cap. We get lots of footage of dolphins swimming and sharks swimming, and there's one that I think is supposed to look like the shark is chasing the dolphin. But if you watch closely, you never actually see the two critters in the same shot. That's because Gladys is more of a danger to that shark than the other way around. And we have to make sure no animals are harmed in the making of the episode, not even a shark. Wonder Woman reaches the action and does something. I seriously have no idea what, but it scared the shark away. I think she's supposed to be hitting her bracelets together to make that sound, but her hands are in the wrong position for that. So maybe she has her own echolocation and sharks don't like it. Just go with it. She's going to spend a little more time swimming with Gladys. Hold on, let's back up a little. She's running down the beach in her usual red boots. Now she's wearing fins. Where'd they come from? Do they just magically appear when she hits the water? Well, yes, it looks like this. If you've ever tried to walk in those things, you understand why ducks look so goofy when they do it. Gladys is back home for now. Lockhart, meanwhile, has brought something on the boat.
Hey, easy with that.
Where are the release magnets?
These 4 magnets, just like the ones used in space research. I had Henry here buy up the only laboratory in the West that makes such things.
How much pull would it take to get this apart? I mean, I want Bluebeard to be able to get loose with his first tug.
I don't know what they call it now, but that used to be called a limpet mine. Magnets attach it to a ship's hull, and you can guess the rest. Bluebeard is trained to deliver such things and then pull away to safety. And it looks like Gaffer was his trainer.
May I ask, sir, where it is we're going?
To the Pacific Missile Test Range, where the Navy does its target practice.
The Navy has a target ship moving into position so they can practice sinking it with their cool new weapons. Lockhart and company have to stay outside a certain range. Bluebeard doesn't.
He's away, sir. He's coming back.
Better be getting out of here, hadn't we?
Oh, no, not till I'm sure that Bluebeard is all right.
Once Bluebeard is clear, the mine detonates. What was in that thing? And I think your magnets came loose because it looked like that explosion happened about midway between the ship and you.
By Jove, that's marksmanship. You did it, sir. Incredible. And with the very first shot.
Sir. Thank you, sir. But, I'm not sure we've started firing yet.
That's how efficient we are, sir. We can sink a ship before we even begin firing at it, sir. That was the dress rehearsal. What's the actual performance?
And there it is. Now that's a target. Longer than the Empire State Building and wider than a football stadium. She's one of the largest tankers in the whole world.
Uh-oh. And it's as full as it can get.
And if that were to spill near the coast, and if I had all my money invested in Heavenly Shores, I'd panic, wouldn't you?
He's going to cause a major ecological disaster to drive down the price of some real estate. We all need to line up and take turns backhanding this guy. Navy divers found the magnetic release mechanism in the wreckage. Diana wants to know who makes them. Lockhart and Henry are discussing how to blow a big enough hole in the tanker. Henry comes up with a solution using fewer magnets and more explosive.
You know, of course, sir, that the Dolphin won't be able to break away.
What's one Dolphin lost? And the biggest oil spill in history.
And if you didn't see that coming, hang your tiara'd head in shame. At the company where those magnetic releases are made, Diana has to change to Wonder Woman to get past a rather rude security guard, and a much more cooperative dog. That may be the most useless alarm in history. She breaks into the place, though I'm not sure what she's looking for. Really, Grandpa? You saw what she did to the young guys. You think you can do better? I hope you took your vitamins. While she's piling them up on boxes and tossing them up into rafters, Lockhart exits the building and drives away. There's never a cop around when somebody is driving like that. A simple speeding ticket could have hosed this whole plan.
What is it that you're trying to keep me away from? Thank you very much.
She crashes through a skylight into the secret lab and finds a file.
Gaffer's service record? They probably stole it so we wouldn't be able to trace him. Probably did the same thing to the Dolphin.
Gaffer trained Bluebeard, was dishonorably discharged from the military, and he also had training in demolition. IREC says that might be relevant.
Steve, you think that maybe whatever blew up that empty ship was placed there by Bluebeard?
Well, it's possible, but why an empty ship? Unless it's some kind of a practice run.
The IREC computer has...
Practice run for what? That's what we've got to find out.
First, we've got to find out who hired Schultz.
The IREC computer has more on...
He must tie in with a parts company somehow.
I don't think Ira's going to take much more of this.
Yeah, say, have you checked out...
The telephone manners of Steve Trevor and Diana Prince leave much to be desired.
I was right.
According to Coast Guard records, Melvin Schultz purchased a sea vessel 10 days ago.
Great. What's the name of the boat and where is it docked? And speak up, Ira. I seem to be deaf in one ear.
Yeah, his real name is Melvin Schultz. No wonder he goes by Gaffer.
Excuse me, sir. Could you please tell me where I could find a boat called the Jolly Billy?
Could you tell me where I can find a boat called the Jolly Sniff Sniff?
Billy, wait! You can't get away!
Grab her, she's a cop!
Cop? I thought you said the cops weren't following you anymore.
Well, maybe she's not a cop, but she sure is something. All I know is every time I see her, I'm carrying fish.
Oh, she smelled Billy and the fish. And now she's in trouble. While Dr. Stubbs and Daryl are still tracking Gladys in hopes that she'll find Bluebeard, Diana is tied up on board the Jolly Sniff Sniff with Billy guarding her. But Gaffer is screaming that he needs Billy in the wheelhouse. I think he has a thing for her. Once you've shared that many fish with someone, well, you know.
What are you doing here? I thought I told you to keep your eye on that girl.
No, I need him right here. Who's giving orders around here anyway?
Well, that's not quite clear.
My bet would be Lockhart, since he's the one with all the money.
I am the captain, and you take orders from me.
Now I'm the captain of this ship.
Okay.
And the gun. Diana has gotten herself loose and transformed into Wonder Woman. Her next step is... What is her next step?
You don't want Bluebeard to blow up that thing. Not that oil tanker. That's practically a whole oil field. Think of the wildlife that will be killed, say nothing of those people in that tanker.
He starts trying to signal Bluebeard to turn around. Unfortunately, Lockhart has already disabled the transmitter. There's nothing he can do.
You're not going to leave him. No, he'll never be able to catch up with us.
He won't even be able to get off the bottom of that ship. This is Bluebeard's last ride, my friend.
You have to give Gaffer credit for one thing. He really does care about that Dolphin. This isn't just a job for him, it's a labor of love. His love is a little bit warped, but that's another matter. And we get some rare footage of the fins actually appearing as she enters the water. And it's not magic. She has a special deal with a guy who makes scuba equipment. The fins are built into the boots and they pop out when they hit water. I want some. And at least they put some effort into the underwater backdrops this time. I could almost believe she's in the ocean and not in a pool. Even Wonder Woman can't swim as fast as the Dolphin, so Bluebeard accomplishes his mission and plants the bomb on the supertanker. And he can't break free. Gaffer is losing it. Gladys is headed that way, and so is Wonder Woman.
Come on, Gladys. We've got to help Bluebeard.
Bluebeard.
In a strictly just world with no mercy, now she would go plant it on the Jolly Sniff Sniff. Wonder Woman isn't known for that sort of thing, at least not since the first season when she was fighting Nazis. Meanwhile, Gladys and Bluebeard are reunited and frolicking in the water. Now that Lockhart isn't transmitting to Bluebeard's harness anymore, Dr. Stubbs can use Gladys's signal to get them both back home. In the epilogue, they're back in their pool, together and safe.
You've got him working, I see.
Well, the gentleman is here on probation, and he does have a way with dolphins.
Wonder Woman and the court were both hoping he could help you untrain Bluebeard so that he can't be used to blow things up again.
After what almost happened, I have a feeling Gaffer is fine with that.
Wonder Woman said that you seemed pretty relieved when she stopped your boat and captured that Lockhart.
Yeah, well, that Wonder Woman is something else.
He's basically a decent guy who got in with a bad crowd and compromised his principles. I have yet to see that work out for anybody, real or fictional. Without principles and ethics, each of us is a flag, hanging around waiting to see which way the wind blows and go with it. In Gaffer's case, it almost blew him into the worst oil spill in history. Thanks to Wonder Woman, it blew Lockhart into prison instead. And Gaffer discovered he didn't like being a flag. Good for him. And besides, Dr. Stubbs is pretty hot. Within 2 months, the two of them had a thing going that got them both fired. Nobody really cared until they got the Dolphins involved. And you don't want to hear the rest. Neither do I. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.